And we want to get right to what is a deeply personal story for us. Nancy Guthrie, Savannah's beloved mother, has been reported missing in Arizona.
Nancy, who is 84, was last seen Saturday night and reported missing on Sunday by family members.
Savannah saying in a statement, on behalf of our family, I want to thank everyone for the thoughts, prayers, and messages of support. Right now, our focus remains on the safe return of our dear mom. We thank law enforcement for their hard work on this case and encourage anyone with information to contact the Pima County Sheriff's Department at 520-351-4900.
In a news conference late last night, the Pima County Sheriff said multiple teams responded to the scene.
This is very concerning to us. You don't typically get the sheriff out at a scene like this, but it's very concerning what we're learning from the house.
The sheriff adding that Nancy Guthrie has no signs of cognitive issues.
She's has no cognitive issues at all. She's very alert, very of good sound mind. Just some physical, 84 years old.
NBC's Tom Winter covers crime and security. Tom joins us now with the latest. Tom, good morning. The sheriff said that what they found especially concerning was the scene at the house. What's the significance of that?
That's right, Craig. And obviously our thoughts and prayers are out with our colleague Savannah this morning. You know, people go missing all the time in this country, and it can be a frustrating process for families as they ask law enforcement to look and intervene. One of the things that police do first is they go to somebody's house in a case like this. And according to what the sheriff said last night in Pima County, what they uncovered was a scene that was, quote, very concerning to them, but later used the phrase grave concern at the press conference last night. So it was the evidence that they found at Nancy Guthrie's house. She's 84 years old, that they found there that led them to this point where they thought that this is something that required their urgent attention. They were able to get out helicopters last night to use infrared cameras. They've got drones up. They've enlisted the help of the Customs and Border Protection, obviously not too far from the border there in Mexico. They have some special resources. The FBI is also aware of this case as well, just given the nature of what they found at the scene. That's what's got them so concerned. We're withholding some details, as we would do with any investigation, to make sure that the investigation can go forward without us interfering in it.
And Tom, we think it's important to note, once again, the sheriff also mentioned that she has no cognitive issues. I mean, she has some physical ailments that impact her movement, but what might that tell investigators?
Well, that's exactly right. And I think anytime we talk about somebody who's in their 80s or older, you know, we think about those cognitive issues. People can get confused. There can be mental health ailments as people get older. All of us have dealt with that in our lives with family members. And so you think about that, whether somebody got lost, whether they left their house and didn't quite know where they were going. That's not the case here, using the phrase very alert, very sound mind in the course of that press conference last night. And so this is somebody who they don't have those concerns about. There are some physical health concerns here as well. And I think that's another reason why investigators are focused on this. This is not somebody who would have perhaps the physical means to go very far from their house. They have not found this person in the course of the search and rescue. And at this point, they don't think that Savannah's mom had any sort of mental issues that would have led to her leaving her home.
Tom, what kind of questions and avenues will investigators explore moving forward now?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a two-pronged approach today. First is the search and rescue. I mean, we certainly hope, and obviously their hope is that they find Nancy okay, that she's going to be all right, and they're able to take care of her. And so that's the first thing, is the search and rescue component of that. Because of the foothills and the nature of Tucson, it's one of the things the sheriff talked about last night. They have a lot of experience doing these search and rescue missions. They have a volunteer search and rescue operation that's engaged with this as well. So that's the first concern. Can we find Nancy and find out where she is? The second concern is going to be what they found at the house and the evidence that they found there. And that's something that they're hoping can help give them some clues as to what might actually have happened, which of course could eventually lead them to Nancy. So that's going to be the second component of this investigation. I think that's why they're asking for the public's help. You know, we've seen in every major case, every time I've been on talking with you this year about some sort of whether authorities were trying to look for somebody, looking for clues, they rely on people to reach out out with the videos that they have at their homes. Certainly, I'm sure they're looking for that video, but they want people to, in the Tucson area, to call in those tips, or if they have any video of anything suspicious in the area where Savannah's mom is located, that's something they're going to look for as well. Video is going to be critical. Is there a car? Are there individuals? Anybody suspicious? Anything out of the ordinary that they can use to start to track if there was anybody leaving that area, anybody leaving the scene, or where she may have gone. That would be hugely helpful as well. I mean, do they see her walking down the street, walking in somebody's backyard? All that would be so helpful.
All right. Tom, thank you. And again, to Tom's point, anyone with information is asked to call the Pima County Sheriff's Department, 520-351-4900. You can also use the website, 88crime.org, or you can call that number as well. That number's on your screen, 520-882-7463. And of course, we will be keeping you updated throughout the morning.
Sending our love, my friend.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC, or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.